Imagine this. You're pregnant, in love, and excited to celebrate your boyfriend's brother's birthday. You show up to what's supposed to be a happy occasion, expecting cake, music, and maybe a little bit of drama because, let's be real, every family has that one messy relative. But instead of a typical birthday celebration, the night takes a horrifying turn when a petty argument erupts between your boyfriend and his father. And instead of letting it go, instead of cooling off like a normal human being, your future father-in-law decides the best way to settle things is to grab a semi-automatic gun. Now, any sane person would think, okay, he's upset, but surely he wouldn't go that far. Well, Asia Phillips didn't get the luxury of that assumption. Because despite walking away, despite leaving the house, she was still shot and killed, along with her unborn child and the man she loved. And the trigger-pulling, life-ending coward responsible? Her boyfriend's own father.
45-year-old man is behind bars after police say he killed a 22-year-old woman and injured his own 23-year-old son in a shooting. Narles Brown Sr. has been charged with murder and attempted murder for his role in a shooting early Wednesday morning in the 700 block of Division Street. Police were called to the area around 2 a.m. on reports of gunshots fired and people screaming. We are learning that Brown Sr. called 911 before shots were even fired in an attempt to get police on scene quicker. But it wasn't long after that call that he fired shots. When officers arrived, they found a man and a woman suffering from gunshot wounds. Both were taken to the hospital, and the woman, identified as 22-year-old Asia Phillips, died from her injuries at the hospital. The 23-year-old man, who police say is Brown's son, underwent surgery and is currently listed in stable condition. According to court documents, the incident stemmed from a verbal argument at a family birthday party.
Welcome to the American Crime Femicide channel. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future uploads.
Okay, you need those on that platform.
Before we get into the senseless horror that ended her life, let's talk about who Asia was, because her legacy is more than just a tragic headline. At 22 years old, Asia Phillips was everything a parent could hope for in a daughter. From a young age, she excelled in sports, academics, and leadership. She was the type of child that coaches brag about, teachers admire, and siblings look up to. She had a natural gift for athletics, competing in track and field, basketball, and volleyball, all while keeping her grades up like it was nothing. Some people barely pass one class, and then you have Asia out here balancing multiple sports while still managing to hit the honor roll. And while most people would be exhausted just trying to keep up with their own busy schedules, Asia made sure to support her siblings too. She showed up for their games, cheered them on, and still found time to be the vibrant, loving person everyone adored. Asia wasn't just a star athlete, she was a high-spirited, family-oriented young woman who valued strong relationships. She loved good conversations, music, outdoor activities, and just enjoying life with the people she cared about. But life wasn't just about books and studying for Asia. She had a love story, one that had lasted almost a decade. She and Tyrese weren't just boyfriend and girlfriend. They were partners, teammates, and each other's first loves. They had been together since high school, went to prom together, moved in together, and had recently received the biggest blessing of their lives. They were expecting a baby boy in late 2025. A young couple in love, building a future, planning their family. But apparently, Narles Brown Sr. wasn't a fan of happiness, success, or joy. Because instead of celebrating his son's growing family, he decided to end it. On February 25th, Tyrese's brother, Narles Jr., threw a birthday party at their parents' house. Family and friends gathered, drinks flowed, and Asia, ever the loving girlfriend, came along to support. She loved Tyrese's family. Even without a ring, she considered them her own. But Narles Sr., well, he had other plans. Instead of enjoying his son's birthday party, He took the miserable old drunk route, complaining, sulking, and making sure everyone knew he was unhappy with the festivities. And by 2 in the morning, the tension exploded. Tyrese and his father got into it. The argument escalated, and Narles' mother, Lolita, had to step in before it got physical. So she did what any mother would do. She walked Asia and Tyrese out, closed the door behind them, and went to the bathroom. Because, once you've separated a fight, the logical assumption is that it's over. But Narles Sr. wasn't done. A few minutes later, shots rang out. Lolita rushed outside, finding Asia collapsed, shot in the chest. Tyrese, barely hanging on, riddled with bullets, and Narles Sr. gone. The Mishawaka police arrived minutes later, finding 2 bodies outside. Asia was pronounced dead on the scene. Tyrese was rushed to the hospital with 3 gunshot wounds, barely clinging to life. And Narles Sr., he was hiding behind a house, like the coward he was. And get this murder wasn't impulsive. It was planned. Narles Sr. literally walked to his closet, grabbed his semi-automatic handgun, loaded it, and tucked it into his waistband, all before stepping outside and shooting them. And in the biggest WTF moment of the case, he even called 911 before he shot them, claiming there were shots fired to get the police to arrive faster. Meaning he knew what he was about to do. He knew he was about to commit murder. And yet, he still pulled the trigger. After surviving the shooting, Tyrese spent over a week in the hospital. When he was finally released, he took to Facebook and poured out his grief. I'm just now able to address and clear the air regarding my baby, Asia Phillips. For starters, never in a million years would I have thought I'd be making a post like this about her. I could write 10 books about our relationship. It was solid, no shortcuts. We were each other's first and true love from start to finish. There was no Tyrese without Asia, and there was no Asia without Tyrese. She was me, and I was her, nothing more, nothing less. We built a life together. We grinded, struggled, took losses, and still proved every single person who doubted us wrong. We won together. We got our first house together, then our second house together. We were with each other for our first cars, our first big wins, and every experience life had to offer. Every moment we could experience, we did together. We graduated together. We went to prom, midwinter, and every event in between. We did that. And when it came down to business, she was my business partner. We could sit down at a table and put our heads together like no other. Still, I feel like I failed. I was looking for compassion from someone who wasn't even half the man I am, not even close. Someone who never contributed to what I built. Instead, the opposite happened. Everything I loved was taken from me. I lost my girlfriend, my future wife, my best friend, and the mother of my child, all in a matter of hours. Someone I took pride in protecting, loving, and being there for since the day I met her. Nobody knew Asia better than I did, and vice versa. I was supposed to check on my baby that night. I didn't, and for the life of me, I can't fathom the fact that I'm here and she's not. I would have died 1,000,000 times over for Asia. We held each other down, always. She was the sweetest, most gentle, most caring, and most loving person to everybody. She truly was an angel on earth. Asia couldn't have lived without me, and now I can't live without her. She was my everything, and knowing she was taken by a coward who I am nothing like, someone who never even acted like this before, makes me sick. She loved me more than life itself, and I hate that this is the way it ended for her. I love her more than life itself too, and she knew that. Another woman will never have me. I don't want it. I'm just waiting to be with my baby again. I don't want it any other way. Asia was and will forever be my world. I was supposed to leave her at the house that night. I wish I did. I want to thank everyone for the compassion and blessings. But I'm going to scream her name until I'm sitting right next to her. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. For the majority of our relationship, it was just us 100%. And now she's gone, and I'm still here. I love you, baby, and I'm so sorry. If only I had been able to get to you, you'd still be here. We weren't supposed to end our story like this. I can't do it without you, baby. She wasn't just my girlfriend. She was my everything, forever and always. A man robbed of his future, a son betrayed by his father, and now, Narles Sr. is facing the death penalty. Asia should be here, finishing her degree, becoming a lawyer, raising her son, and building the life she worked so hard for. Instead, her future was ripped away by a bitter, cowardly man who couldn't handle losing an argument. She and Tyrese had spent nearly a decade together, growing from high school sweethearts into a young couple ready to start their family. They had plans, dreams, and a child on the way. But in a moment of rage and selfishness, Narles Sr. took it all away. Instead of letting them walk away, instead of calming down, instead of choosing love over hate, he grabbed his gun, stepped outside, and destroyed his own son's world. Phillips was shot in the chest, killing her and her unborn child instantly. Tyreese was shot multiple times and barely survived. And for what? A bruised ego? A drunken tantrum? A man so filled with resentment that he couldn't bear to see happiness thrive in his own family. Narles Sr. didn't just take his son's future, he shattered an entire family. He took a daughter from her parents, a mother from her unborn child, and a lifetime of happiness from the man who loved her most. Now, instead of celebrating her milestones, Asia's parents are preparing for her funeral. Instead of welcoming a grandson, they are left mourning two lives that never should have been lost. Asia should still be here. Her son should still be here. But instead, their lives were cut short by a man who didn't even deserve to be called a father, let alone a grandfather. A young woman's life ended before it could truly begin, all because one man couldn't control his anger. May Asia Phillips and her son rest in peace.